As you drive on Oklahoma state highways and interstates, you may have noticed something different over the past few years. Have you seen the black and white striping? You probably have and wondered, why? We asked the question to ODOT's highway safety engineer, David Glabas.
It's just simply an extra visual aid for lane guidance. Concrete roadways pose a unique situation. As you know, they're light gray. In fact, various different colors of light gray. And under certain lighting conditions, the white, or if the line gets a little bit dirty, the dirty white line blends into the light concrete. Specifically, if you're driving into the sun or if the sun's directly behind you, that seems to be the worst time of day for not picking up the white line. And so the black line is for those certain times, so it can be picked up more easily by the driver and let them know where their lane position ought to be.
Adding this black stripe following the white, it helps in daytime to see, because of the contrast, the driver can see the striping and stay in their lane. When it's a brand new, it's so bright. We get a lot of good comments from traveling public.
Most of the time when we explain what we're doing and the extra visual guidance, they seem to be at ease with that because I think everybody can understand or has seen at some point where it's hard to see the white line on concrete. And so once they know that information, they seem to be completely okay with it.
ODOT first started contrast striping in 1998 in Oklahoma City. Now the program is statewide. The average lifespan of the contrast stripes is 8 years, but that depends on the amount of traffic and the material that is being sprayed on the road. Because it's not just paint that you see, there's also glass involved.
Yeah, there's actually glass beads dropped on top of the paint, and glass beads are what gives paint visibility at night. So in order to see the traffic stripes at night, you need something that will reflect. And the paint, it shows up during the day, but not as much at night. So what glass beads do is they're retroreflective, which means when a light source hits the beads, it reflects back towards that light source.
The beads are made from recycled glass, including car windshields and windows that are crushed and then melted.
ODOT requires us to run a Type 4 and a Type 1 bead. A Type 4 is a large bead, a Type 1 is a small bead. Kind of gives it a sandpaper effect where you've got the big, larger beads, which are more expensive, about 3 times the cost of the smaller bead, but give you a much higher retro. But they don't fill the whole binder up. So the small ones come in and fill the holes in the binder where the big ones were. The other thing is the bigger beads give us a little higher profile for when we get the wet night. We get a little dew on the road and the water starts overtaking the line. The larger beads elevate above that water line so we can continue to get retroreflectivity.
But that retroreflectivity depends on the roundness of the glass beads. The more perfectly round the beads are, the better they reflect.
A round bead, when light enters a round bead, it will enter the bead, reflect off the back of the bead, and reflect back out in the same direction that it came from. If the bead's not round, it might not come. Either it might not reflect or it might not come back in the same direction. And so roundness is a good indication of how much retroreflectivity you will get from the stripe.
To test the roundness, ODOT utilizes its own lab and a special tool called the cam sizer. The cam sizer is an optical instrument with 2 CCD cameras that takes pictures of the beads and then calculates their size and roundness.
When we take the bead sample to run it on the cam sizer, we pour it in the funnel that holds the sample, and then it will feed the beads slowly onto a tray, and the tray vibrates, so the beads will slowly move down the tray and then drop down in small quantities into the area that's lit where the cameras are, and that's where it takes the optical measurements of it. So you want the sample to feed in slowly, so it's really simple and it's really fast.
And so is the application. Instead of using 4 different trucks, 2 to spray 2 colors of paint and 2 to drop 2 different size of beads, the process can be done with 1 single vehicle.
What you're looking at is a big orange manufacturing plant. The product, we load it all in bulk on the truck. So you've got your clears, which is your hardener, your resins, which is your colors, your glass beads. So we use pressurized guns. to deliver the beads to the line. We don't inject them, it's a drop-on.
This particular material is epoxy-based. We call it multi-polymer. And when we use this material, it's 20 mil thick. So anytime you have plow operation in winter, it does not damage the striping.
We're going to apply this at about 20 mils, the thickness of about 2 pieces of nice cardstock. Extremely thin, extremely durable. We do that in Oklahoma for our snow plows. We do a lot of snow plowing because we're not an ice state, or we're not a snow state, we're an ice state, so we motor grade this stuff off. So we can get it lower than the profile, keep the blades off of it.
While the white stripe gets 2 different sizes of beads dropped on it, the black stripe is also more than just some paint.
We still go ahead and put down a bead drop on the black, but it's more of a black aggregate for 2 purposes. One, it kind of dulls it up, so it does give you that contrast. And 2, there's an anti-skid property to it.
The black beads that we use are a black flag aggregate. If we would just paint the black without the aggregate, it would be very shiny. It wouldn't. So the black knocks off that glare. Takes the glare away from it, so you actually do get the black. Without that, it would just glare and you wouldn't see it.
And being able to see the striping is ultimately what this is all about. Increased safety for the traveling public, better visibility, having to use less paint per mile, and the increased lifespan of the paint are all reasons why ODOT has decided to continue using contrast striping in the future. Even though there is no current mandate, federal or otherwise, to use black and white lines, ODOT continues to strive towards a safe, economical, and effective transportation network.